Tuesday as we continue from there, and it's going to be September 13th. It should be a fairly short video because we're going over to the library here in just a moment. Let's see, my tie is the Magical Mystery Tour, which is a Beatles album that just sort of saves issues, so I put it up there. We are going to have kids dancing for points in just a moment, but you're not going to get a chance to watch it online. But we're going to come back to you here in just a second. Let's help out this kid. We're back! Only small issues. We continue from there. All right. Let's see, we'll get back to the story tomorrow from that one. And so this is due Friday. You should have it all done already. It's the thing that we've been going through and doing with you guys. We are finishing up. We're going to finish up the notesy bits here in just a moment. If we don't have those done, then you should have all of the Lady and the Tiger done. We did that together. The Fisherman you should have done. That was the homework that we had to do before. And then all of the other bits. So I'm just going to finally give you credit for all of this. So Friday, when you are taking quiz, I'll be coming around to help you with that. If you're still missing stuff on there, Thursday I will send out a copy of this to try and help you out for those of you who are still missing a thing. Sebastian?
Please like and subscribe to our YouTube video.
Fridays for the quiz that is coming up, you're going to have to read a story on your own, which is what's going to make things scary, is you're going to have to actually do a reading thing. And so the reading is going to be a story called The Fun They Had. I'm going to be giving you a copy here in just a moment. It is Home Children. You can get a copy also. It looks like that. So Friday's quiz is 12 questions on paper. You are not doing the one where you get to cheat off other people. You just get to cheat off you and your brain. 7 of the questions are going to be from this story you have to read. I'm giving it to you today. You don't have to have it done till Friday. Friday, you have about 15 minutes to take the quiz, maybe 20 minutes, which is not enough time for you to read the story and take the quiz, so you're going to want to read it ahead of time. Then I'll just be asking you questions like, who are the characters in the story, or which of these would be the best example of a setting, or which internal conflict actually happened in the story. And so you have to have read the story and then figured out the information from there. Yanti, as I'm handing these out.
How many questions?
That's a good question. I think 35, 40, something like that.
12.
Right. And Austin?
Can we if we create notes? Or we
Yes, you may use them. If you actually spend time to write out what you think the characters and setting and stuff like that is, you may absolutely use them. I am fine with you being a somewhat prepared person.
Yay.
More power to you. Robert?
I have the power. Why do I have 2?
You have 3.
So will the quiz be on canvas or will it be on a piece of paper?
On a piece of paper. Just like they used to do in the caveman times.
On a names.
So, if you look at the little piece of paper, it's the one that says The Fun They Had. It's about this kid who hates school in the future. I figured it should hit a little close to home for you, since a lot of you guys sort of feel the same way, except for the being in the future part. But at least the hating school part, that might hit pretty close for you. All right. Then we're going to get to the part where we get a chance to do the practicing and the speaking, and we're going to get to our first volunteers, and then we'll finish off the rest of the notes things. We will take volunteers in a second. All you have to do is say this, do that, you get your 5 points. If you want to just read it from your notebook, you can, and then you get 0 points. The more you have to get help, the fewer points you get. The less help you get, the more points you get. So if you can just go, characters, who is in the story, setting, when and where, plot, what happens, point of view, how we see the story, theme, decision, external conflict, something versus something, 5 points, flex on children, then you're good to go. You do all that, you get your 5 points, and that's all there is to it. The more that you go, plot, then that's where I have to help you, and then you just get fewer points, all the way down to 0. You can't lose points, you just don't gain as many points. So the worst that happens is you stand up, embarrass yourself, cry in front of the class, and get 0 points. But the best is no crying, and you gain 5 points. So we're getting ready to practice it here in just a moment. Chris?
What if you do one right? Do you get 1 point?
So what happens is every time I have to help you, you lose 1 of your 5 points. So if you only get helped once, you get 4. Helped twice, you get 3. Down there. Does that make more sense? Okay. Riley?
Can I go first?
We're not there, but possibly if no one else volunteers. If some classes, no one volunteers. Let's practice it together and see how well we do. Grumpy grump grump face. And we have
Setting. When and where. Plot.
What happens?
The story.
How
How we see the story. Ideas. What we learn from the theme.
What we learn.
Inter conflict. Decisions made from the character.
Conflict.
Inter conflict. Something.
All right. Home children, we're going to pause for a moment so that we don't have to record these kids' embarrassment forever. And then we'll come back once we're done embarrassing people. Back to here. Hey, those kids did well. So, we have not finished this with you guys yet, right?
Yeah, I put it behind it.
We didn't do irony or foreshadowing.
No. So, do we have our 5 little definitions?
No, we didn't do
All
that.
right. So, let's help you out. What is our little definition for exposition?
Oh, yeah, beginning.
Introduce
the character.
There you go. Very beginning, and it's the boring stuff, and then we get to the part where we have the moments in the story and that is the
Exciting stuff.
there you go. And then we got to the major climax.
No.
Alright. So
Yeah, we
the
did.
climax, the
Major
moment of the
climax.
greatest intensity in the story, this is where all of a sudden in the story we find out that the snake attacks the goblin and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe. Literally, it's your major OMG moment. When we're reading the story and you're like, oh my god, the kid lost his phone and now he's gone, what's going to happen to him?
Oh, he's been gone
I know, I'm assuming he's still hunting it down. That was our climax, I'm assuming he's going to find it at some point.
Well, dude, he never finds it.
Well, it's not my phone. And then we get to
Are we
the
gonna get a whoopee?
falling action, the part of the plot where the story begins to draw to a close. This is after we have your major Ermagerd moment, and now we have to explain it to the people, and we're like, oh, so obviously the snake and the goblin are friends, and it makes so much sense, and we're explaining why the climax happened. So it's your OMG explain. So now the stuff makes sense. Like, why would a kid not be writing this down after being gone for multiple days and having to turn this whole thing coming in? Yep, that piece of paper right over there. There you go. It's called work. Then our last one, resolution. The point at the end of the story in which the conflict is resolved.
Boring ending stuff.
It's like the very beginning, but now we're at the end and we're wrapping it up and it gets boring again and you're like, oh, I want to go back to the goblin and the snake part. This is your boring ending stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, if you turn the paper over, Brody, you can look at the bottom. Yeah, I see what that's called a paper.
Yay.
Yeah, turn it over.
And you smacked me.
Yep. And yet it didn't help.
I love it.
Yeah, turning it over.
I feel your pain, Brody.
Then you're going to draw a little mountainy thing over to the right. So you have this little area over here to the right. I'm going to have you draw a little mountainy thing over here to the right. So it looks just like this little mountain thing.
We
What?
have a
Why do you always,
mountain.
like, have, like, a big, like, cross on it, or like,
Oh, on here?
yeah.
Because I've learned that when kids would lose theirs, they would try and steal mine from my desk. And so now I just have to do that because some kids are not trustworthy. So I write my name on it in giant letters to prevent the kids from trying to thieve mine. Alright, so now, on this one, this just sort of like measures how much excitement is in the story or how much fun. It uses a funometer to realize we have, like, the purple is very little fun, lots of fun, maximum fun, fun is dropping, a little more fun. So we're going to label the parts that go into it. Do you need to go tinky?
No.
Then you're going to have to relax. So we have the very beginning part here where there's hardly any excitement in the story. And what do you call this beginning part where it's boring and nothing exciting is happening?
Exposition.
So here's where you're going to label your little mountainy bit exposition, where you have that little beginning bit. Then story starts to get exciting and starts to go up, and you go up a little excitement level.
Rising action.
That's the rising action, and now all of a sudden we start to fill up the phonometer. And we're like, oh, our story's getting exciting. The kid got whacked in the head. And then you're going to get all the way to the top moment, where it's the most exciting thing, and that is the climax. See, Austin, you just got yours done early. Just gave you like an extra thing to get done. Now you get to just sit there and you're like, mine's already finished. And then after that major climax, now the story starts to go back down. It's not quite as interesting anymore.
Falling action.
Nicely done.
Then resolution.
And then we get to the boring part at the end where it's all flat, not much is happening, and that's the... So Friday's quiz, part of what you're going to have to do is apply this to the story and figure out in the fun they had what part is exposition, is it going to be the exciting part, is it going to be the part where we get characters explained, stuff like that. Lance,
So can we like in the quiz can we like replace exposition with like beginning and resolution with conclusion?
I mean, I'm not gonna like, ask you to write down the word, but sure, as long as it makes sense to you. What I will ask you is like, what part of the story is the exposition, and then give you options. So then you're gonna look for like the boring stuff that happened at the beginning where it introduces the characters. So as long as it makes sense to you, we good.
Boring stuff.
What's up, Tinky?
I know foreshadowing.
Well, there you go. Just gonna hang on a second.
Yeah.
Sebastian.
I think Robert has to go Tinky.
So foreshadowing, this is going to connect to our story for tomorrow, where you guys remember the lady and the tiger where the story just ended and it had like which door it was going to be, and I said I'd never make you read a story like that again.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're going to read a story like that again, but this time there's an actual ending because you guys got all mad and grumpy and tried to flip over tables last time. So now there is an ending, but it's a hidden ending, and the only way to figure out who dies, and there are people who die this time, is by using foreshadowing. Tinky, what is foreshadowing?
It's like a hint, like in the beginning, to like show what happens in the end.
Nicely done. So foreshadowing are the clues in the story to help figure out what happens in the end. Clues in the story to help you figure. You're right, Brody. You are writing this down. Good job. It's literally right there in front of you.
Yeah, what
Not
about-
clapping, doing work.
You should have said to hint at the ending. There'd be fewer words.
You can do that if you want.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Sebastian. I learned after the last time I called on you. That's when I stopped calling on kids.
Where do we do foreshadowing?
I'm gonna go with the words that say foreshadowing.
It's on
Look at
the
the
bottom
bottom,
where we just did.
right above where it says exposition.
Oh.
It's right there. It
Wow,
scares
we-
me. Oh.
Right there where Malik was pointing. Good job, Malik. Teamwork.
Imagine this.
All right.
Like just playing as smart.
Can I go like find Sam?
Nope.
He just walked past
Then,
5 seconds.
We are getting ready to head over to library now. So when we head over to library, I think we just have my one special kid who will be back here soon. The rest of you are going to be normal kids when we get to head on over there, except for one other kid who's in single digits who will get to sit near me also. While we are there, you get to put all of your stuff on those back shelf step things. I don't know, when you first come in, there's like these weird shelf steps. Put your stuff there, and then we're playing a Jenga game. They have like this review Jenga that you get to do with like rainbow color. I don't know, it's kind of neat. Kids have enjoyed it. So you're going to put your stuff in the back, and then have seats. They give like a really quick explanation, and then we get to begin playing a game. Tinky?
But can I go to like the loft?
Being as that this is going to go till the end of class, no. Otherwise, it would have loft directions up there. Trust me, there will be a day when we go over there and we get to do the loft. It's just not yet. Don't pout at me. I'm not in control of that.
They said you were.